everyone. Today we are at Woody Michleb Salon in Thornhill, Ontario, Canada. We're going to be meeting with Woody, doing a couple of episodes, doing a haircut, and also talking about business. And we have Heather Wenman joining us today as our guest host.
Hello, I'm Heather Wenman. I'm here in Thornhill, Ontario with Woody Michleb in his beautiful, beautiful salon. Hi, Woody.
Hello, Heather. How are you?
I'm great. I too am from Ontario. I'm from London, Ontario, and we're here in the studio today, and we're going to start our interview by talking about how you are going to approach the trends this season in 2009, fall, winter.
Well, the way I'm going to approach the trend is really I always loved color, and you know, yourself and myself have always entered color competition, and this is our passion. And to me, every haircut it should always be complemented with the color. And you can see these color placements actually, it doesn't matter how long you leave them on, they'll still look very, very good because of the placement and the geometry of the color that's in there.
Yes, it looks very geometric. I just love the shading through here.
Exactly, but it's still very, very soft, and it will complement the haircut. And what we're going to do is we're going to show a cutting technique that's actually 4-section haircut that's still going to work really hand in hand with the color placement. And
so
it's
only
also
4 sections.
only 4-section haircut. So really, we're not going to make it very difficult. Everybody thinks that haircutting is very difficult, but it isn't. If you actually think about it as math, physics, and chemistry, that's the way I look at it. It's measurement, shapes, and it's a physics reaction. So what we're going to do is we're going to take, and we can see that we have this geometrical shapes going on a diagonal to the back, and we're going to take an A-line section, which is going to start just basically above the parietal ridge, and the higher you go with it, and the directions you're going to take, the more of a sharper edge you're going to end up with. Then we're going to take it again from the side of the apex on the back right there, all the way down to the nape area. So we're going to comb this one out of the way, and I'm going to just clip it so everyone basically could see it. So you can see this is like an A, really wide A line that we're taking right there.
Absolutely, and the ear is somewhere in the center here.
Exactly, so this is basically the center where the ear point is, and it's actually going right to the middle of the eyebrow and back down to the nape area, all right? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this section and we're gonna comb it, and again, as we said, if the higher you go with it, basically the shorter the piece and the more you're going to expose color. The lower our section down there, the basically less color you're going to expose from underneath.
And you're also exposing the shape of the perimeter of the face. So
absolutely. It's got to be all
good to do
done
on the good side of the
time.
face.
Okay.
Yes.
And what I like to work is I always like to work from the top section of the hair and then finish always the perimeter of the haircut.
Pertaining to longer hairstyles?
Exactly.
Okay.
Because
that's a good tip.
We always tend to start cutting like the length and then start working then the shape. I like to work the opposite way. I like to work the shape first and then start basically determining where my length I want it to be, because I find this way works more with the suitability, and I always believe that suitability, what suits the individual, is what fashion is. Okay, because we cannot apply fashion on someone that's not going to suit it. People say blonde hair is not good in the winter and dark hair is not good in the summer. I think you're in fashion all the time right now. You're blonde.
Thank you.
And it's winter time, right? So to me, I think this is totally the opposite. People could be any color they want, any short, long, it doesn't really matter. It's really what suits that particular person.
Absolutely, and we can play on all of those tips, like colors that are icy can be cool colors in the winter, an ice blonde versus a warm blonde, right?
If the fashion outside, it's snow, I believe that everybody should be in white as well, because the actually Mother Earth is giving us that it's fashionable outside, don't you think?
Absolutely, we're living in it, so wear it.
We're gonna raise it up, and I'm not over directing it. Again, I'm taking the middle of that section, that pivot point, and I'm gonna use it basically as my guideline where I want that hair to be cut. I'm gonna take this section right here, and you can see I've been, pretty good with my eyes when I cut hair. So this is my guideline right there from the previous section. And also, I'm taking the hair all into the middle section right into my hand. So what happened is, when I cut the hair, I'm gonna have longer layers on the sides and shorter right down the middle. So I'm gonna get a lot of movement in there. It's almost like a Christmas tree effect when you're working.
But with equal tension throughout, because everything is coming to the center spot.
So we're gonna take that again, and what I'm gonna do is, again, I'm gonna start with the tip of my shear, and I'm gonna start cutting from shorter into longer. I'm gonna again reposition my hands, and I'm gonna again cut from shorter.
Can you tell us why you use the tip of the shears, Woody?
Yes. The reason why I use the tip of the shear, a lot of the time we tend to do this as hairdressers, and that's not really the way we will cut.
Isn't that called chop, chop, chop?
Exactly. So what we want to do is basically you want to use your thumb and just only the top blade is going to fall basically down on the shear. A lot of the time we cut our hands just because we tend to do this. And versus doing that, you just want to rest your scissors on your fingers like so, and just with the tip of your shear, that's where you want to start cutting. Okay?
Yes, and that's a very good position. Both fingers are level.
Absolutely.
And you're just guiding along the top. It's a great tip.
So we're going to turn her that way, just the camera will see. We're going to go again from the same pivot point right there, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to comb all the hair right to my fingers right there, and I'm going to take that section, and we don't want to get stuck because we have basically diamonds here from Hair Dreams, which is their Chirafri crystals.
Lovely,
so we're gonna,
look at that.
So we're going to comb the hair again, and we will show you where we section this section right here, okay?
And
we
you
can
started
take it,
at the same point, right?
Yes. We're gonna comb the hair all again, up position, and you can see again from this pivot point right here, we're taking our guideline and directing the hair because the natural hair falls forward, right? So we're gonna take it, lift it over, just like so, take our previous section and use it as our guideline, and we're gonna cut through the hair.
So as opposed to connecting it straight up, we travel this guideline.
Yes.
This very important tip. This is a traveling guideline.
Yeah. And then we're gonna release the hair, and you can see how when we cut that, how we expose the color in there, it starts to actually come out from underneath.
Tell us about your shears.
Oh, absolutely. Well,
You're the king of shears, I hear, so tell us about them.
We do own a scissor company. It's called Kenchi, and line has level 1 to level 5. And we explain to you on how usually we make them, what kind of material there's in there, the rock wall hardness, and all of that stuff. Right now, what we're going to do is we're going to take our texturizer, and I'm going to show you how we use our texturizer basically to define the fringe area and how we're going to do this. So we're going to take this section right here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go just underneath like so, and because I want to still expose some of these colors and I want to keep the softness, you can see when I place my shear, it's going to be really soft, but I'm going to maintain that same position, and I'm going to cut, you know, with my texturizers, just like so, and I'm going to start keeping that little bit of a blonde showing right through. We're going to comb this section, and now we're going to define all of that perimeter. Even though I'm working with a texturizer and they got a lot of spacing in between, if you maintain where you're cutting and you just have very, very short movement in there like so, you're going to end up with a really strong edge, but at the same time, you're still maintaining that soft effect from the hair. So
and in
you
the
can
beginning,
see,
yes.
And in the beginning, what we did is we took this section right here and we cut scissor over comb and released it. By doing so, because we're cutting a little bit shorter, we're still building that weight with the section on the top and have a little bit of a softer edge on the bottom.
So it's feminine, but it's nice and strong in
Absolutely.
its perimeter.
You can see how we start to open up around her eyelid and around the eyebrows, so that way her cheekbones start to open up and start to give her that really, really nice shape, showing her features more versus covering her feature with hair. What I want to do is I'm not going to go just really, really short all the way around. I want to keep some of these pieces a little bit longer so they create that softness and they keep suitable with the geometry looking that we're doing. So we're going to take, again, like a barbering of fat, and we're going to take this section and raise it up higher like so, and we're going to cut it again shorter on this side. Okay? And
Still
you can
using
see,
the texturizers.
yes, we're still using those texturizers, and I'm going to cut and keep cutting until I actually have a really straight, precision cut, but yet I'm maintaining that soft effect from my haircut.
And
So
you had
when
a
I release it,
very steady arm there. So.
yes, and when I release it, and the reason why I raised it higher is because I still want that really strong edge in there, we could see, but yet I have really soft pieces falling right through from the haircut. And I'm seeing still that color a little bit stronger going in through in between. And we're gonna keep working with this and exposing color from a certain area and defining our haircut while we're working on the fringe area. So we're gonna continue right here with this section, and now I'm gonna go back for my regular shears, and I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna just carve right through this haircut, just
Now
down
I
like
see
so.
that he's still using just the tip as he makes his carve.
Absolutely,
You're not cutting
because
very deep, are you?
no, we're not pushing through the hair. And again, when you're working, you just kind of want to work around that shape and still be able to maintain that shape. But if I gotta start cutting in here, watch, I'm not able to round that shape through. I'm gonna end up taking it halfway through my shears right there, and I'm gonna cut through it, and it's gonna make it more of a straighter edge versus I want to maintain that curved section right there. So I'm gonna
This is
go
why your
around.
scissor is a shorter length as well.
I always
help?
believe that, I have a lot of people say to me, well, I want 7-inch shears or 8-inch shears. I think you could brag all you want. It doesn't have to be long to be good. What I'm saying is, like, when you have a 7-inch shear, really, and all you gotta do is use the tip of the shear to be able to control those shears, all right? You really don't need the rest of the blade. You just don't. It's just long, and it's out of balance, and you find most of the European hairstylists, they use 4.5-inch shears. I find in North America we're using like 6, 7, 8, and I've seen some people use, like some hairstylists use 9-inch shears, and to me is like, I see no point for it.
Can you get those on an airplane?
I think so, but you got to tell them that it's
I've
a
had my
sword. It's
scissors
not
taken
really.
a few times.
It's for grooming, pretty much. For groomers, they use like longer shears. But for hairstyling, I think personally, I like 5 to 5.5-inch shears because I find you have more control from your shears when you're working with the shorter shears. Even if you want to, I find like a lot of people like one of the techniques I use, which is I call them phantom layering. I'll show you a little bit of it because we want to create a little bit of texture in there. And what we do is we lift the hair and just like kind of push through the hair, and you can see I'm only taking a little bit at a time. So I'm not taking a lot of hair.
Almost tickling the hair.
Exactly. So you just lift it with the tip of your fingers like this and slide right through it. You always want to make sure that the hair is really clean when you're working with that. Otherwise,
those weapons,
it gets
okay.
stuck, and then you're going to end up cutting yourself. I want to show you another technique that I work with whenever we want to kind of create a little bit of separation and texture into the haircut. So you go along the same shape where the hair is falling. You comb it and you just open your shear and close them, open them and close them, but you don't want to go the opposite of it or like in a different angle, and that way you can only take a little bit of hair at a time. You can see I'm only taking it from the inside of the hair and basically making it a little bit softer. Exactly.
Well, thank you, Woody. Let's go and talk business.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Bella. And if you want to stand up and just turn around, maybe a few times for the camera so they can see your hair,
Yeah, just walk in front of the chair, love. Do a little spin, show us how it moves. Nice. Well, Woody, that concludes another episode of the Cutting Edge Hair Show. Snip, snip.